Hello again, everyone. Welcome back to Expeditions Viking. Alright, let's go ahead and check out these scouted areas. 18 wood. 18 wood. And 18 wood. Not bad. Not bad. Alright. In we go. Wish that there was more stuff that we could do to follow up on this rather than just like stumbling across it. Alright, well. Let's go ahead and explore around here a bit. 5 herbs from the poppy, 4 herbs from the mayweed, and 4 herbs from that mayweed. Not bad at all. Bonk! There's still more of those to find? Oh man. Hello! 2 boys, one around 15 years of age, the other much younger, are crouched at the edge of the creek. A moment's observation reveals their errand. The older boy is teaching the younger how to tickle fish. The lesson is confined to a purely theoretical level, as the creek is much too shallow for fish. Oh wow, you got a portrait. As soon as they become aware of your presence, the boys get on their feet. The older of the 2 steps in front of his friend and greets you with a hesitant smile. Wow, I've never seen people such as you. Are you from Northumbria? Strathclyde? Much farther than that, boy. We're Vikings. We're Vikings, but calm yourself. We mean you no harm. Let's go with this one. The older boy puts a hand on his younger friend's shoulder and nudges him forward. Go on, Lugade. Run along back to your dad. The kid walks past you slowly, head bowed in fear. Then he sets off down the path as soon as he's past you. The older boy clears his throat. I'm Killian. I've heard stories of Vikings. To be honest, I never figured they were true. They make you out to be demons or some such. Is it true your ships look like dragons? Yes, that's true. It's part of our religion. That's true. It strikes terror in the hearts of our enemies. The stories are exaggerated. Our people are no different from yours. Yeah, I'll go with that. Aye, that's right. You're not Christian. They say you worship ancient, violent gods that thirst for retribution against the spreading light of Christ. That's right. Our gods will never be defeated by the Christian god. As much as I would like so. It's true that we're not Christian. Corners of Killian's mouth curve upwards. He seems powerfully intrigued. If you don't mind me asking, what are you hoping to find out here? We seek the last of the Druids. We're told he resides in this ravine. I know the man you're speaking of. I'll take you to him if you want. I think he'll be very interested to meet you. He stands there for a moment, looking you over with a strangely excited air about him. Come on, this way. Okay. No, I was not actually expecting you to go that way, but okay. Ooh, well, that is a path. Game? Oh. There's a bridge there that I could cross. Well, I assume he went in there. Let's go ahead and quick save. Maybe I should explore this place first. The air in the cave is surprisingly warm and dry, but whatever supernatural blessing of air circulation is responsible for it has failed to prevent an oppressive stuffiness from settling over the area. Killian hollers into the cave as you enter, and his words reflect sharply off the irregular, angled walls. Myrthin, I've brought you visitors. They're not Christians. A coarse voice returns from within the darkness, deep with authority, but uneven with age.
Lad, your kindness will undo us both. I wouldn't have chosen a cave to live in if I wanted to entertain guests.
Killian gives you a reassuring smile. He'll settle down when he sees you. Come on. How do you see me? How do you give me a smile? You're all the way over there. And there go. We're just gonna go on ahead. Yeah, don't mind us. You just wait there. All right. Fine. Garbage pile? Empty. I think we've had like one garbage pile have something in it. Totally gonna explore all of this place first. This looks intriguing. Mistletoe, a night accuracy penalty halved. It's not a whole lot of damage though. And 4 rope. I will take the rope. That is a pretty cool looking part of the cave. I like this cave. This is a pretty cool cave. Although, I don't know about the whole dripping water part that we're getting up there. Manure of some description has been spread around the mushrooms. The Druid must be farming them. Alright, so I can take that. Grease, cloth, and honey. I'll take all that. Hello! The man who awaits in the central chamber looks just as you might have imagined. A dark gray beard reaches almost to his belt and blends seamlessly into an unassuming wool robe. His eyes judge you with calculating clarity that makes you feel small despite the situation, and just for a moment you might actually believe that this man could be 1,000 years old.
As I thought, your guests carry a legion's worth of steel into my home. Have you no thought for the safety of an old man, Killian, fool boy?
Killian doesn't look particularly troubled by this admonishment. They're Vikings. They worship the old gods.
Yes, and if I had taught you more about the old gods, you'd know that is no guarantee of kinship.
Come on. I mean, really, are they so different? Okay, they kind of are. The old man's eyes have never left you, but only now does he address you directly.
Well then, Viking, tell me who you are.
My name is Elmendreda Aldsdaughter.
Felt my hall, Elmendreda Aldsdaughter. If I had expected foreign dignitaries, I would have summoned the servants to tidy up the place.
Well, you know, it's okay. We understand.
I am called Mirtha Nemris. If you came to speak to the last of the Druids, then you have found him. Please control your disappointment. Why have you sought me out?
On behalf of Constantin of the Picts, I'd like to invite you to Perth. The old man waves his hand dismissively and turns his back on you to inspect some mistletoe hanging on a string. It's a fearless gesture.
King this and king that. These kings, they come and go. I owe them no allegiance. My only loyalty is to the faith.
Royal advisor is a respected position. You'll be duly rewarded. Is it true you're almost 1,000 years old? It's not so much an offer as a demand. Royal advisor is a respected position. You'll be duly rewarded.
Aye, but only while this king of yours reigns. As soon as he is usurped, as all kings quickly are, I can expect to share his fate.
Cannot fault a man for not giving his loyalty away so easily. Mirthan regards you with the implacable way of a man who's said all that needs to be said. Tell me about your faith.
No, I will not. Christians or nay, you're strangers to me.
How about I tell you something of my faith, and you can return the favor? This appears to catch the old man's interests.
Oh, a bargain. I accept.
I see you collect mistletoe. The plant has an important role in the tale of Balder, son of Odin and Frigg. When Balder was born, Frigg had made all things in the world, living and otherwise, swear an oath that they would never hurt her son. But she had not made the mistletoe swear, as it was too young for such an oath. Mirthan strokes his beard.
Interesting youth.
One day all the gods were gathered. They decided to test the oath by throwing everything they could find at Balder, and they saw that nothing hurt him. But his brother Loki, ever the schemer, made an arrow from mistletoe and convinced the blind god Hodr, who was also brother to them both, to shoot Balder with it. The druid smiles but says nothing to interrupt you. The arrow killed Balder.
We have stories of our own that echo yours. In fact, I've heard several variations of the same tale. Perhaps the inevitability of tragedy, even among the gods, makes it easier for us mere mortals to accept our own cruel fates.
Your turn. You promised to tell me something of your own religion.
Myrthen grumbles but nods. Then let us remain on the subject of mistletoe. Few things are more sacred to us than this plant. It's extremely rare in these parts, but thanks to Killian, I know of one good hard-timbered oak nearby whereupon it grows. There's a ritual to gather mistletoe. Upon the 6th day of the moon, we bring a sacrifice to the tree, and feast beneath it. It's meant to be a banquet befitting a king. We would bring 2 white bulls, horns tied, to be sacrificed, but those days are ages past. I climb the tree, well, Killian does these days, and cut the mistletoe with a sickle, which I catch in a white cloak. It's meant to be a golden sickle, but we make do with what we have. Needless to say, we go without the white bulls as well. From a mistletoe thus harvested and duly prayed over, we make a potent drink that is antidote to all poisons.
Behind you, you hear Rosca snort derisively in muted protest. Thank you for your story, Myrthen. I hope we'll meet again. Is there nothing I can do to convince you to come with me?
There is not. If you respect my will, tell your king I am long dead. Tell him all that remains of me is an old grave overgrown with lichen.
Killian catches your eye as you turn. He nods subtly back towards the mouth of the cave, and then sets off in that direction. Find out if Killian can do anything to help you convince Myrthen. Okay. Are you actually going to leave, or are you just going to be waiting here at the entrance? I can move faster than you. Okay, you're actually going to leave. Alright, fair enough. Alright, Killian, tell me what you know. Outside the cave, Killian looks almost as disappointed as you should feel. Sorry it turned out this way. I was sure you and Myrthen would get along. He's always on about Christianity's suppression of the old ways. You want to talk? Do you have a way to convince the old man? I cannot convince Myrthen of anything. The man's 1,000 years old. He probably made up his mind a century ago. How can I change that? He's not 1,000 years old, son. Such a thing is impossible. You seem to have a vested interest in arranging this. Killian scratches his nose while he thinks. Listen, I need to catch fireflies for the old man's ritual. If you come along, we can talk on the way. Help Killian catch fireflies for Myrthen and convince him to help you. Alright, well, we'll do that in a moment. I want to explore along this way. I am intrigued by this pathway. That looks a little weird. Ooh, hello. 3 herbs. I'm king of the mountain. My mountain. Dibs.
This is a junction point. Look, see how the stones are aligned with the mountaintops in the distance? There's ancient power here.
Can I tap into it? Elaborate symbols are carved deep into these rocks. They've clearly been meticulously maintained, as no trace of the lichen that grows at the base of each rock obscures the inscriptions. Let's go ahead and inspect the inscriptions. You recognize one set of symbols. You've seen them on other standing stones you've come across in your travels. With dawning realization, you notice that some of the markings in one of the unfamiliar inscriptions bears a striking resemblance to the runes of your mother tongue. Once you've made this connection, you begin to see familiar patterns emerge in the text. With these messages side by side, you might be able to translate the inscriptions on the other stones you've found. Let's attempt to translate these symbols. Yes! Sense succeeded. It's meticulous work, but you hunker down and focus. Realizing that this will take a while, your herdmen settle down around you to wait. 2 hours pass. Ah, poop, it's raining. The stones speak of an ancient king who fought and died for a nation known as Albion. The king is variously referred to as a hero and an adversary, and it seems the people who erected these stones may have had a fairly ambiguous opinion of him. The stones reference the king's final resting place several times and hint that he may have been buried with a weapon of great power. It appears that 7 stones were erected across the kingdom, each of which reveals, in part, how to reach the king's burial site. These must be the stones you've encountered before.
Ooh. I want Excalibur.
Alright, well, we'll have to go back and look for all those. I guess before we help Killian anymore, let's go over here. Stupid rain. I really like this path. Now, I will say that this would be an awesome battle map. You know, like having to fight up that hill. That would be quite painful, I'm sure, but it would be pretty cool. Totally dig that. Let's see who these people are.
Strangers aren't welcome here. You'd best be on your way. We don't want any trouble. You're welcome to pass through, but don't linger.
The Highlanders have withdrawn to the edges of their village, huddled together in groups that seem to constitute families. You notice some men have readied weapons, but aren't brandishing them. I don't mean you any harm. I'm looking for a druid. Your welcome is not the worst I've had, but it could stand improvement. You best help me find what I'm looking for. Trouble is exactly what you'll get. I'll go with this.
You'll find no help here. We want to be left alone.
Oh, I think I mixed up their voices.
Leave us out of your heathen schemes, you hear? This is hopeless. These people are beyond reach. I'm sure they have good reason to be suspicious of strangers. It's wise to be cautious.
Tall man of strong build, somewhere around 30 years of age, emerges from the forest behind the house and steps into the village. He quickly assesses the situation and raises his hand in a gesture of reconciliation.
All right. Let's not all lose our heads for nothing. Go back to your work. I'll handle the strangers.
The other men of the village reluctantly return to their work while frequently casting suspicious glances your way. The younger man walks up to you. He looks tired.
I'm Doubleglass. Don't mind them. They're just looking out for their families.
You seem friendlier than your neighbors. My name is Elendretta. Thank you for diffusing the tension.
I don't trust you any more than anyone else here.
My name is Elendretta. Thank you for diffusing the situation.
I'd like you gone just as much as the rest of them. But I can see from the look of you, the best way to get rid of you is to get you what you're after. So, what are you after?
We're just here to talk to the hermit. I thought we might trade with you while we're here.
You're here for the hermit, eh? I don't think anyone here will want to trade with your kind. A traveler seek the sorcerer, just as I thought. And you see fit to help? Do you know where your cousin is, Dub?
Though the other man is clearly Doubleglass's senior, Dub's reply is hard with admonishment.
You sure you want to discuss this in front of strangers?
That seems to shut the other man up for the moment.
I think it's best if you leave. Telork has a bit of a temper. I'm not sure I can keep him in check if you start snooping around. And don't go asking around about that hermit if you know what's good for you.
Quick save! Too bad. I'm gonna snoop. Empty. Hey, it's been a while since we've been able to get some hides this way. Thank you. Thank you for your wolf hide. I appreciate your contribution. I hate Knight in this game. Well, not hate, but it's just annoying to navigate. I mean, who would have expected Knight to be difficult to navigate, right? Armor padding and rations. The small boy stares with avid fascination at your group of foreign warriors. As soon as your eyes meet his face splits into a huge, excited grin. Hey, do you worship the devil? Child, my gods would annihilate your devil in a fight. We certainly don't. Where did you hear that? Sure, why not? They totally would, yeah. Superstitious followers of gained morale and skeptical followers of lost morale. Yeah, I can kind of understand Morcant not liking that one.
That would be really great. I bet your gods couldn't beat our god, though. Our god can see and hear everything that happens.
We have a god like that. His name is Heimdallr. And he's just one god. We have lots more.
That's really weird. You're not supposed to have more than one god. Hey, do you come on a boat?
Flew in on a dragon, actually. It's a ship, but yes.
War. I want to sail on a ship someday.
An older plump woman bears down on the boy with a severe frown.
All right now, Yogan. Stop pestering the strangers. Head on back to your mum. She's been looking for you.
The boy stands up straight as a spear shaft.
Hi, Grandma.
Grandmother regards you through narrowed eyes, then turns and waddles back to her stool. I like that kid. Totally worth losing skeptical follower morale for. Okay, well... Let's quick save again.
You must forgive us for our cold welcome. The lads are naturally suspicious of strangers. If you need supplies before you move on, I've food and herbs to trade.
Will your husband not be angry?
Oh, Eden's quick to anger, but just as quick to come out of it. Dub's choice to step in calmed him down.
Who's Dubglass to you?
Why, Dub is the younger brother of my husband, Eden. He's a good man, that Dub. Level-headed, and he always takes good care of his wife and children.
Can you tell me anything about the hermit? She licks her lips and looks at the trees as though suspecting them of conspiracy.
I'd rather not talk about him. Who knows how far his sorceress powers extend? We all fear that man and his pagan curses.
Now let's see if we can strike a deal. Oh, this vendor has preposterous prices. Yeah, I'm not sure that I really need anything. I could get a lot of wood, but I don't think that I'm gonna need any. Some other time, then. Prices you demand are an offense against common decency. The woman crosses her arms stubbornly.
Does this place look like a teeming hub of trade to you? Everything I have, we've made with our own hands. You can take it or leave it.
I'll come back if I need anything. A young woman is sitting on a stool, braiding a band for a stone medallion with a Celtic cross. Celtric cross? It should also be capitalized. Next to her, a small girl idly braids a few strands of her own hair while watching the work with rapt attention. What are you working on there? Young woman looks up with a start. She clutches her carved stone tightly, unsure what to do. It's a nice talisman. Give it to me. Don't be afraid. What's your name? Open-minded followers of gain morale and conceited followers of lost morale. She looks around, perhaps to assure herself that you are still being watched by the rest of the village. When she answers, her voice is steady.
Lan.
It's a very pretty thing you're working on, Lan. Would you be willing to sell it?
I suppose, if you like it that much.
How about 5 pence? Does that sound good to you? Young woman lights up. She hands you the trinket and accepts your coin with obvious gratitude.
Aye, that'd be very good. Thank you.
You received Lan's cross. As you walk away from her, she shoves your coin up to her young friend, and the two girls giggle at what you guess to be the first sale the young artisan has ever made. Ah, I like that. Alright, let's see. What is this? A beautiful, intricate cross pattern carved into a smooth stone and strung onto a band of braided string. Plus 5 ranged damage reduction. That's pretty good. Alright, you don't have a shield, so that's going to be pretty good for you. I'll just give it to you. Alright, yeah, the damage on that is just really not good. Really cannot justify equipping that on my main, on my main people. It's even a bit of a drop down for this basic hemp sling. But it's got good armor penetration, good crit chance, and it is unique. Alright, 7 salvage out of that. Should probably get you a better axe. Should probably get you a better axe. I should probably remember to do that at some point. Alright. Well, I think we basically explored everything around here, so we need to go find you. The young boy from earlier is chasing fireflies with a girl about his age. When they see you, they freeze for a moment, then they run in a wide circle past you and back towards the village. Okay. Killian looks worried. Ah, shite. I hope those wee pests don't tell their parents they saw us together. Why not? Will they worry I've corrupted your faith? Why not? Killian suddenly looks a lot older. I've never been entirely honest with my family about Myrthen. I know they suspect I visit the old man, but I try to hide it, and every time it comes up, there's a big fight. You have to understand, this isn't a village, it's a homestead. Everyone is related. When you live in a place like this, to break from the fold... Why do your parents hate Myrthen so much? Killian is silent for a time, while he unpacks some jars from his sack. He hands you one and takes a few steps away to catch the nearest insect. With his back turned, it seems easier for him to talk. My parents are dead. They were killed by some stupid feud many years ago. My cousin Dubglass and his brothers avenged them. Then he and Maelmur took me in and treated me like a brother. That blasted feud is still on, of course. It's old as sin, and it'll never end until everyone is dead. That's how things work up here in the Highlands. Finesse medium. Attempt to catch a firefly. Yeah. Ignore the fireflies. I was asking about Myrthen. So how does this involve Myrthen? Let's go with this one. Failed. You spend a few moments chasing fireflies around the small clearing. Every time you think you've got one, you find the jar empty. One streaks right past your face. You flail towards it just a moment too late, narrowly missing Gunner's face with your elbow. Myrthen was here before us. As far as I know, he's always lived in that little cave. And the problem is, everyone here is all Christian, of course, fervently so. They don't understand Myrthen, but he frightens them. You should hear the things they say about him. That he's in league with the devil. That he takes children in the night and sacrifices them to dark powers. No children have ever been lost from the village, mind you. They're just trying to scare the wee ones to stay away from him. Killian's voice is thick and unsteady now. I always want to tell them to just shut up about him. That he's just a nice old man who wants to be left alone. But they don't want to hear it. So we have these fights and... A long moment of silence follows. I swear sometimes I think, if they knew I've apprenticed myself to Myrthen, they'd kill me. Not Dub, but the rest of them. Another firefly disappears somewhere into the moss at your feet. Perception. Yeah, there we go. There's something I can do. Medium. Attempt to catch it. Sounds like a bad situation. You'd be safer in Perth if you come with us. Ignore the firefly. Sounds like you need to get out of here. You'd be safer in... Yeah, well, basically the same thing. Perception succeeded. With empty jar raised to strike, you kneel in the needle-ridden moss and let your gaze wander across it. The moment you spot the bug resting its wings between a couple of flat stones, you bring down the jar and trap the creature within. Satisfied, you close the jar with a thin cloth. Killian stops to think on it, and the local firefly population breathes a sigh of relief. His jar already buzzes with half a dozen of them. I'd come, you know, if Myrthen would go as well. I've learned much from him, but he still has so much left to teach me. So much wisdom, stories of the old gods, knowledge of the wield, his rituals. He raises his head and stares off into the distance, though his sightlines are blocked by firs in every direction. I'll talk to him again. I've never told him how unsafe I feel around my own family. If he sees how much this means to me, he'll go with you. Killian closes his own jar, confused blinks penetrating the thin cloth, and hands it to you. Please bring these to Myrthen back at the cave. I'll meet you and him at the stones on the peak. I'm going to go and reassure Dubglass and Mail Mirror. Take care of yourself. Thank you. I'll see you at the peak. Good thing I brought this group of heavily armed warriors. We wouldn't want anything to happen to the fireflies on the way. Don't take too long. I'm keen to leave this place. Oh, I totally have to go with this one. Good thing I brought this group of heavily armed warriors. We wouldn't want anything to happen to the fireflies on the way. I just hope that this is taken as the appropriate tongue-in-cheek comment it should. He strikes up a genuine laughter. I'm convinced the precious shipment is safe with you. Excellent. Bring the fireflies to Myrthen in this cave. I am guessing that we're going to end up going into the village and having some sort of fight or something like that, because they're going to be telling him not to go, or they're just going to outright kill him. We will have to see how that goes in the next episode. See you then, everyone.